Hi, I'm Ned Kelly. On this episode of Light for the Lightkeepers, I'll be talking about how to structure a prayer. Now, of course, more importantly than what order to put your sentences and your words is the feeling within your heart space, the faith, the consciousness of your prayer. You may want to go back and watch episodes 1 and 2 of the Lightkeepers series where I talk about centering, listening, and connecting. That having been said, the paragraphs, the flow, the ordering of the words and how you use them can be very helpful in reaching the person with whom you are praying. Think of it as a gift you are giving them. The gift itself, what's inside, is your faith, your consciousness. The wrapping, the package in which you present it is the way you speak the words and sentences and how you put them together in a flow. First, let us talk about the beginning and ending of a prayer. When you first begin in prayer ministry or chaplaincy, you might want to use just the very same opening and closing every time, and that is fine. As you go forth, you want to be able to build up on those tools and have more things to use at hand. And depending on the prayer request, depending on the person and the situation, you might use something different each time. For just a few examples, if the prayer is about something celebratory, of course you might want to begin and end in giving thanks. It might sound like this: we give thanks for this day, for all of God's gifts, for this opportunity to join together in prayer. And that flows nicely right into whatever the prayer situation is about. If the person seeking prayer from you is very upset or distracted, has a lot of feelings and emotions that are kind of interfering with getting them centered, you might start off by saying, let's allow whatever feelings are arising in this moment. We offer no resistance, we honor them, we bless them, and we gently shift into this moment to focus our attention on God. Or just one more example, if the prayer requester is praying for a lot of people in their lives, their families, their friends, and there's many prayer requests along the way, we focus our attention on the power of God's love to bless us, and from there you can either list the names of some of the people or all of the people for whom they're praying, or simply say, for all the people whom we are blessing. And a couple of examples for closing your prayer. If the person is upset and not wanting to let go, you might say and reassure them, we are united in faith, and our prayers continue even as we go forth now. And we say amen. Or if the prayer is about forgiveness, you might say something like, we are one in the flow of God's unconditional love. We let go, we are free, and we say amen. Something along those lines. So keep that in mind so that all, the beginning and the ending, fit nicely into kind of the coherence of the entire prayer structure. Now let's focus on the body of the prayer itself. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been sort of scared when you go into a prayer that you're going to leave something out, one of the person's prayer requests? So you sort of throw everything in there, piling things on, including the kitchen sink, and maybe even saying the same thing over and over becomes redundant and repetitive, saying the same thing over again like I am now. That can get in the way. Now, there is nothing wrong with repetition if it's used as sort of a poetic device. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. If it's done intentionally and it works into the flow and reinforces what you're praying, that is great. But unintentionally, it can kind of become an encumbrance. Now let me give you just a few examples of prayer structures that you may want to try. First, you may want to find a theme, such as healing, and then apply that theme to several different prayer requests or parts of the prayer. So we know that God's love is healing your arms and your legs, and healing this relationship, and healing your finances. Ties all the different various requests in nicely into one theme. You may organize your thoughts in the prayer in the form of a journey. Someone's heading out on an actual physical journey, going out on vacation, or a metaphorical journey, living their life and going forth. And then you can kind of make stops along the way as you leave and go out to the airport and we see you safe and flying. We see all the successes of your trip and all the joys that you experience along the way and the return. So a journey of some sort is a great way to organize the structure of a prayer. And here's one more structure you may want to try. It is one of my favorites, expanding out and then perhaps coming back into the center. So start with the person with whom you are praying and focus on their heart space and then kind of expand that out. That same love, that spirit connects us right now. We talked about that earlier. And expand out that faith, that love, that truth or protection or whatever it is for your family, your dear ones. For all of those whom you are blessing, that's a way to include and enfold anyone and everything they have asked prayers for, whether you've mentioned the specific names or not. So you're expanding that out, and then perhaps even expand it out to the entire world, the entire universe. And then a good way to bring that back to the end for closure is, and again, we are aligned in the center in our own hearts in faith. Those are just a few examples. You can make up your own structures and experiment with them. I would experiment with these things and practice with these structures before and after your actual prayer session. During the middle of the prayer, you don't want to be up here thinking about the structure. You want to just let go and allow it all to flow. Well, I hope that gives you some ideas to explore and work with in your own prayer practice, and of course in your practice praying with others. Thinking about the structure of a prayer and how having it all fit in, like in any piece of good literature, writing, or poetry, that if it fits in succinctly, nicely, with a kind of an integrity, it can work its way past the ears, past the mind, and into the heart space. And as I said at the very beginning of this video, more importantly than the structure of the prayer and how those sentences are put together is the heart, is the faith, is that consciousness. And I wish you that, my friends, in prayer and in faith. Thank you. Namaste.